My name is Mr. Dogtree. The streets are filled with hoodlums, bad guys, and taxi cab drivers. I try to do my business out in the open, but the business in the open isn't doing so good. Tonight was a night like any other. Finally met the woman of my dreams, and she introduced me to her husband. He was a tall man. He wore 2 sneakers of different colors, and he liked to shake people's hands vigorously. The second I saw him, I knew he spelled trouble without the E. He was that kind of guy, that kind of do-it-yourself guy who doesn't use spell check and who doesn't believe the silent E has any place in our society. So I did what any sane person would do when I met him. I told him my story. This is the story that I told him. I was walking home, and I found a tree. Wait, let me back up. I was walking home from the grocery store. And at the grocery store, I had purchased the things a man needs to purchase when he goes to the grocery store. You could tell by my groceries that I was a man who lived all by himself. I had purchased toothpaste. I had purchased soap. I had purchased shampoo. I had purchased a salad that is meant for only one person to eat it. But I was going to have it for 2 meals. So when I saw this tree, I was in a particular state of mind. The tree said a word to me. This didn't come as much of a shock to me as you might have expected it to. Because while I was at the grocery store, I had had quite a lot to drink. They had been offering samples of Odwalla, and I was full of vim and vinegar. And Odwalla, they had also had samples of vinegar, and I had had a lot of these in my 3-hour shopping trip, during which I purchased toothpaste, soap, shampoo, and a salad that was meant for 2 people to eat, but I was going to eat it all in one sitting. The tree just said one word to me. It said hello, but that word spoke volumes. I embraced the tree as one does when one experiences one of these events, and also when one is feeling a little bit off balance. and also when one doesn't know what else to do. The tree and I just stood there for what seemed like minutes, but was probably a few minutes more than that. And that was when I knew that I could never have love, never find meaning in this crazy, messed up world of ours. I knew that Odwalla wasn't the answer, but that there was no answer. That there was just me and the tree and nothing else. So I set my groceries down next to the tree. And I left them there. And that was when I came to this party. And I saw the woman of my dreams, and I met her husband, who shook my hand vigorously. And then I told him a story. And this is the story that I told him. I was walking home one night. Wait, let me back up a minute. I was walking home from the grocery store, where I had just purchased the kinds of groceries that you expect a man who lives alone to purchase. Toothpaste, soap, shampoo, and a single serving bag of salad that I was going to make into 2 meals. I saw a tree, and it spoke a word to me, but that wasn't as surprising as you might expect it to be. Because I had had a lot to drink. The grocery store, they had given out samples of Odwalla. And this Odwalla, combined with some vinegar that they were also giving me samples of, it filled me with vim. The word that the tree said to me was hello. So I embraced the tree. I also embraced the tree because, as I said, I had had a lot to drink and I was a little bit off balance. In the moment that the tree and I stood there embracing, which felt like minutes but was probably a few minutes longer than that, I knew that there were no answers, that there was only me and the tree. I knew Odwalla wasn't the answer, but I also knew that there were no answers. So I set down all of my groceries right next to the tree. I came to a party. And at that party, I met the woman of my dreams. And then she introduced me to her husband, who liked to shake hands vigorously and who was very tall. And then I started to tell him a story, just like any sane person would do. And that story was interrupted by you. It was a night like any other, except it had a different ending. Thank you. Thank you for being there for me tonight. Thank you for giving me a hug. Even though I don't know you, stranger, I think you might like one of my stories.